I'm Karen. Welcome to the Buttercup and Fern Homestead. Come on in today while we do a pantry tour. Can you believe it's January of 2023 already? Here we are for the pantry challenge. Suttons, Daze, and Three Rivers Homestead have been doing a January pantry challenge for, this is their 6th year. I figured we might as well join in. The outline of this pantry challenge is that you spend as little as possible and use up what you have for the month of January. You get to make your own rules a little. For us, we don't have a dairy animal, so we're going to still be buying our milk, our cheese, our cream, our yogurt. I haven't ventured into making homemade yogurt yet. But that's where we're going to start with our limited grocery budget. It's going to be a month of cooking from items in the pantry that have been sitting and need to be used up before they expire. Things like coconut milk or canned salmon or, oh, I have a can of sardines. I know Danny's not going to like that. Come on in and see what we find. This here is a corner cabinet, and this is the stuff that we tend to ignore. We have food stashed in the other pantries, and we tend to go to them more. We have some cream of celery soup that needs to be used, and some chicken gravy. Sardines. There's the can of sardines I was telling you about. There's some chickpeas and some hoisin sauce and some different cooking sauces, a curry sauce, rice, quinoa. We definitely need to come up with some uses for our quinoa and get in the habit of using that. This section here gets used a little bit more. That's a quick ramen stash. This is easy. This is a balsamic vinegar, olive oil, and our OXO cube and some gravy mixes and taco seasoning mix and such. They'll be easy to burn through. They'll help us put the other recipes together. Over here we have a large cabinet full of food stuff. This is primarily dry goods and baking supplies. So cake mixes and granolas and cereals, flour, sugar, salt, baking powder, baking soda. And behind the barn door is our utility room. In the utility room is my pantry. This is the area where I keep my store-bought goods. So we've got the mustard and salad dressings and canned soup and rice and pasta, canned beans, and there's that coconut milk. I wonder what the expiry date really is on that. Oh, 2023. It has to be used by October. I have a jar of olives. I have some juices and some bacon strips and more pasta and more breadcrumbs and peanut butter. I wonder what the expiry date on that peanut butter is. Expiry date on the peanut butter is March 28th. I've got a couple of months, but I've got to use that up. We have almond milk and oat milk. We have coffee that's bean form, so that's going to have to be ground up fresh. And then I have, this is a mistake. We bought a bunch of flats of tomato products at Costco before our tomatoes were ready, and we didn't use them fast enough. So I have almost full case of tomato paste, tomato sauce, and canned stewed tomatoes. This was my first year pressure canning, and I think I did pretty darn good. I've got a lot of stuff in here, and I'm not worried about using it up, except for those oddball things that we don't seem to be going through very quickly. I have my diced tomatoes in those 4 rows, and this is curry. I made a green tomato and onion curry sauce. So I mix that with chickpeas and chicken or lamb. If we were lamb eaters, that would go good with it. And then we just serve that over rice, and we have green tomato curry. Carrots, and this is my first year pressure canning, so this was a nice experiment. This is one of the first things I did. This is my vegetable broth and diced squash. I have tomato sauce. I just made plain tomato sauce this year. I have over 24 jars still, so I've got a lot of that to last for a while, plus the stuff that was in that other pantry. When I was doing my tomato sauce, I filtered off the juice. So this tomato juice goes perfectly for making tomato soups, based soups, and to stretch soups and stews a little further. I have beef stew that turned out very good. I have plain canned beets and I have pickled beets. I've put them in different jars so that we can recognize that, but you can really clearly see the difference in color too. This is the pickled. I have salsas and tomato paste, and then we have borscht. We're really not impressed with how this borscht soup turned out. It's got turnip in it, and the whole jar of soup tastes like turnip. While I was canning my corn, you have to blanch it and prep it, and we put some in the freezer too. I saved the water as corn broth. When we make a vegetable soup or a corn chowder, that's my extra broth for the corn chowder or vegetable soup. I canned beef for the first time. This is a smaller jar of the curry sauce for single servings, where the other is a family serving. I don't remember what are in these. I've got pickles, pickled zucchini. I've got some tincture brewing there. And then more tomato sauce, vegetable broth, more tomato sauce, more borscht that needs to be used up. We have a big fridge and it is full. We have those things that need to be used up, those containers of condiments and such that need to be emptied. And this is part of the challenge for me, is to clear this out, clean it, and try to keep it under control. This is an ongoing problem in our house. Bananas that are not getting used fast enough. Banana bread is definitely on the menu for this coming week. I just made one up the other day and we'll have to make up some more. So let's see what's going on in here. In the bottom we have mostly the vegetables and such that we have on the go. These ones are not full bags. Generally they're half bags of something. So this is we've got like 4 of those sausages left. That doesn't deserve a whole space in the big freezer. Dan uses these daily for his ramen and his evening snack of blueberries. There's just stuff that hides in here, and this needs to be cleared out because this is stuff that we can ignore it and lose things in the bottom just because of the design of this. Like our Brussels sprouts are in here because I ran out of freezer space elsewhere, but we still need to use those. And those are from our garden. We just did these in November of this year, 2022. And, you know, ice cubes and chicken broth that I didn't can. I just froze it. And sausages, open packages mostly. So far, so good. You're seeing the quickly most often accessed parts of our pantry. And now I'll take you over to our freezers so you can have a peek at that. It's a little tight in this corner and a little dimly lit. We have a flashlight mounted to the side of the fridge by magnet so that we can see what's in the freezer when we open it up. Let's have a peek at what's going on in this freezer first. Okay, this freezer is all our frozen vegetables. So I've got some frozen apples in there and frozen squash and the stuff we bought at the store as well because our pea harvest wasn't huge. And mangoes. I can't grow mangoes here. This is all shredded zucchini. And we were expecting guests at Christmas, so we have some beverage, some juices for the people that were coming. And this is green beans. So we've got just vegetables in this one. This fridge is not doing as much as I had hoped. I've got all my squash and pumpkin and such stored in here, and they haven't been keeping as well as I hoped. So I definitely have to do something with those, even if it means cutting them up and giving them to the chickens. The chickens absolutely love the squash seeds and such. This is my rendered pork fat and a bag of beets and a cabbage from the grocery store. Well, just beverages. And the dimly lit freezer. Oh, there we go. We picked these up because we had guests coming and they were on special. So chicken strips, that's not horrible to have occasionally. I have divided this freezer up into grocery bags. Okay, so this bag's got nothing in it right now, but that is typically our fish bag. So the blue for water for fish, so it's color coded. I think this is our chicken. Nope, this is our pork. Pork. This is definitely beef. Definitely beef. The yellow bag is for chicken, and that's definitely chicken now. And then I had so many tomatoes. These are sitting waiting to be processed into tomato broth or tomato sauce or something. And that's it. Okay, I've gone through my pantries and I've looked for things that we need to use up and planning a little bit. This has been in my pantry far, far too long, and when I examined it up close, it's got weevils in it. So this is going to be cooked up a cup at a time and given to my chickens on those cold nights when they can use a little more protein around 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Get their furnaces running to help them beat off the winter chill. And then we have a chicken that we purchased for Christmas, and because we couldn't find a turkey that was under $50. So the chicken's been sitting there. It's been frozen, and we just defrosted it and decided to use it up. Well, I went through the kitchen cupboards looking at those things that were, getting close to expiry date. And I found a chicken gravy and a turkey gravy. Chicken and stuffing with potatoes and gravy. Brussels sprouts, and that's it. I'm going to make sure I use the things out of my pantry. Let's pop over and have a moment of menu planning. So here's a quick rundown of how I'm going to fix that problem with products in the pantry that are not being used fast enough. I have squash, quinoa borscht, curry, zucchini I'm going to make into a zucchini loaf, bananas I'm going to make into a banana cake. I also have those sardines, which Dan won't eat. I'll just eat them as a snack. So for those products, I'm going to have a roasted squash with pork roast, and I'm going to add carrots and some of those canned beets with that. I'm going to have a curry, and I'm going to use up some of that quinoa in a rice quinoa blend. They cook at the same speed, and the water to grain ratio is the same, so I'll just put them together. And I'll have chickpeas in the curry to add the protein. We just had borscht, but this is easy to follow up anytime. I can add open a quart of borscht and add a pint of tomatoes and add some fresh potatoes to it, and that mellows out that turnip flavor nicely. We have some pancake mix that's been in the cupboard for a long time, so I really should use that up. I had those sausages in the lower fridge that need to be used up, and let's make a breakfast for dinner. Let's make a breakfast for dinner and use up pancake, sausage, and egg. We always have to find ways to use up our eggs. So I've also got that chicken and stuffing bread, so tonight that's there. Next week, I've also noticed a few things that I've got that are in the fridge that need to be used up pretty quickly. Celery, limes. I've got some frozen cubed zucchini. I've got more squash. I've got an open bag of nacho chips, and there's always more eggs than we can use. We have 6 chickens, and there's only 2 people. They're laying 6 eggs a day, so between 40 and 42 eggs a week. We cannot go through 40 to 42 eggs a week. And then I've got pancake mix that I will show you how to use pancake mix to make biscuits. And that's it.